Overconfident homeowners. Did you know there's a hidden danger in retirement planning? So I started looking into this because obviously I'm in the mortgage business. I talk to first-time home buyers, people that need to refinance, real estate investors, self-employed, all this. But either people own one home or a lot of people I deal with own a lot of property. And the people that deal with a lot of property, that most of the time is their retirement. That's their cash flow, that's their equity, that's their savings, whether they're going to sell the property, put it in the bank and retire one day, or eventually they just get sick and tired of being a landlord and things like that. This is a challenging question because we know a lot of people in this country don't have enough money to save. And then you can look at statistically looking if, the charts where a renter versus a homeowner, the net worth is crazy different. Because if you're a renter and you pass away, there's nothing to leave your kids. And if you're a renter and you need to tap into equity or something for cost of living, for medicine, for medical, for food, just to say, I need to access that capital so I can survive and live, that's another thing. But the other big thing is that we're also living a lot longer. Remember, they created Social Security because they all thought, oh, we'll live till 65 or you'll live till 70. Well, everybody now is living to 80, 90, soon 100. And so people are not really planning. Like they plan on Social Security, that's not enough. Then maybe you get a pension, it's not enough. And they need to grab at other things. So, and I did some investigation, I did some research on this, and I wanted to dive in more because I think a lot of people, when they look at their 401k, when they look at Social Security and they look at their house, they think, man, I feel secure. I've got money coming in for Social Security. I've got money in my 401k, my stock account that's looking good because the stock market's good. And then my house over here, I might not really understand what it's worth, the value, but I feel good because of all this. And a lot of times when a recession comes, people don't know this. It's a couple of triggers. Number one, somebody loses their job, but then they can get a new job. But okay, great. But when people start losing their job, that's one thing. But when people lose their job and then you start seeing the stock market come down and then housing prices come down, people start feeling like, man, my wealth I built is down. Man, that $200,000 of equity I had in my house, now it's 50. I feel broke. And they start pulling back. That is like a start of a recession or a depression. And if you go back in 2008, it went from people losing their jobs to consumers falling off a cliff, not spending, to the housing market falling off a cliff, and the stock market was down, housing was down. It was just a crazy time, and people did not feel good because none of their assets up. Even the wealthiest guy on the planet, his net worth went way down, right? And so that's really hard to swallow. It's hard for people's ego. It's hard for them mentally. And so a lot of times you have to go through this roller coaster. And I wanted to dive into this because do people really understand the value of their house? Have they looked at all the, ins and outs to make sure that if they're relying on that asset, the equity to sell it, to do a reverse mortgage, whatever it is, do they really know that asset called their house is really a secure spot? Is it really secure? Are you really sure you understand what you have? So let's dive into some of those details and breaking that down and what that looks like. And hopefully after the end of this video can help you with some of that stuff and make you feel more confident. Maybe you need to check on some things. Maybe you need to talk to some people. And then you feel more confident that, hey, I can rely on this. This is something secure. This is something I could tap into. But before we go there, if you guys didn't know me, my name is Kenny Simpson. I've been doing 1 to 4 unit financing for 20 years. Wow. I've helped way over 5,000 people, funded $1 billion of loans, and I like to do videos like this, help create content to educate people out there, whether they're buying their first home, or we want to talk about your house as a retirement, or we're helping self-employed people, whatever it is, I'm here to help. If you'd like to book a call, reach out to me. You can do down below. Otherwise, thanks for watching, sticking around, and let's dive into it. Let's explore some of the challenges that homeowners face when it comes to retirement readiness. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is misjudging home equity. There's a lot of equity in the market today. Many homeowners think that their home equity will serve as a solid foundation for their retirement, which could be true. However, in real estate market can be unpredictable. For example, during COVID-19 pandemic, we saw some areas experiencing a surge in home prices only for those values to correct later. This volatility can leave homeowners feeling insecure about their financial future. Many homeowners believe that equity in their homes will provide a solid foundation for retirement. However, a senior research economics, Angie Chin, warns that this belief can be misleading. Homeowners may not fully understand how their mortgage debt impacts their actual equity. For example, if a home is valued at $500 but has a $400,000 mortgage, the homeowner has $100,000 in equity. This misconception can lead to false sense of security about finances. That is true. So let's talk about that statement. Number one, you have $100,000 of equity. So if you wanted to access that equity, you can only do so much with a loan. That's great. But if you have to refinance, you only get to get so much of it. If you have to sell, there's closing costs. Some people think, oh, I have a $500,000 home. Wow, I have money. But that doesn't mean you have any equity. That doesn't mean I have a rental property. People go, oh, I have 3 homes over here, but none of them cash flow and I bleed money every month. So it's just a misconcept of I have this house, that house, this house, I have things. That doesn't mean at the end of the day that's going to return money. That's going to return equity. So that is what they're talking about that. So unexpected costs. Obviously, you guys know unexpected costs to own a home. You could have a window break. You could have the heater break, a plumbing problem, a roof problem. Like there's so many things that go on when you own a home with unexpected costs. And some people don't have $500, $1,000 to put towards anywhere. They got to rack up their credit card. They don't have the money to fix a problem. So when I was doing research about this, I found that nearly 60% of people that own a home underestimate the values of repairs or having that money set aside. For example, a roof falls off. You could be looking at $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. A plumbing, I remember one of our vacation rentals, some guy came home from out of a trip, walked into his house, completely flooded. His whole house is flooded. He had to come down to our vacation rental. He was obviously stressed out, like dealing with this. Came back from a 3-week trip to a flooded house. Not only was that destroyed, just the plumbing problem alone was going to cost him $35,000, not to mention to fix the room or whatever got flooded. So that was unexpected. Just to come back to that, then he had to go over here and spend money on staying in my vacation rental, and it took 2 weeks to get resolved. So you just never know what's going to hit you, what's unexpected. And a lot of people do not plan for this, especially was they're a new homeowner or later on in their life, because a lot of people, they just kind of let their home go as they retire. Things come up, they don't have the money for it. So we put up this chart here, home improvement hurdles. Why aren't homeowners completing necessary maintenance and repairs around the house? We found top reasons people are putting off these projects. Remember, when you put off a project, for example, it could be a plumbing, this, that, it could actually leak and cause into other areas and cost you more money. That's the ability. It's like, oh, I'll fix it later. Then that thing turned into this thing, and then this thing turned that. This is what happens. The $500 problem becomes a $3,000 problem. The $3,000 problem now becomes a $10,000 problem. That's exactly what happens, especially with plumbing, electrical, things like that, or a roof. You decide, oh, I'll leave the roof, and then the bad storm comes, and then it like drips into your house, and you destroyed your drywall and other things. Now you're like, great, I could have repaired that roof thing for $1,500. Now it's going to cost me $5,000. Sound familiar? Happens all the time. Let's take a look at this chart to see some of the common things that people are putting off and basically what is the reason. Okay, so 60% say they can't afford it. 32% say lack of time. 30% say cannot find trustworthy help. 29% afraid to find out the cost. 20% don't know how to start. 17%, we're just lazy. 17% keep forgetting about them. 15% can't get materials, and 2% are other. That is pretty crazy, but obviously the top hurdles always can't afford. But what's crazy is 17% or so is because you're lazy. Come on, guys. So the next one is debt burdens. And let me just tell you this, because a lot of people don't know this. 40% of the homes in America, are you ready, are free and clear. I gotcha. You thought, oh, it's going to be, yeah. But the debt that's on the homes, because of all that low interest rate we just came out of, 95% of people have a 5% or less, 75% 4%, 30% 3% or less. So people that have debt, let's just start there. They're sitting on some pretty good interest rates. But the older you get, the more you realize if you paid off that house, I don't have the payment. If you paid off that investment property, no payment, more cash flow. If you're renting, that's one of the negative things. That payment's always due. You got to pay. But if you paid off your mortgage, you only have the tax and insurance left, right? So the debt burden is definitely, like the older you get, the more you retire. That can eat up a bulk of your, retirement income, the money that's coming in from Social Security, your 401k, your pension, whatever. So let's dive in a little bit more about the debt burden, see some stats, and see where we kind of end up after shaking through this. After kind of going through this stuff, let's see where we land. Debt burdens. Many homeowners, especially those aged 55 and older, still carrying mortgage debt. A recent report revealed that 37% of these homeowners are in this situation. This debt can severely limit their ability to save for retirement, leading to a reliance on Social Security, which often isn't enough to maintain a comfortable lifestyle. I don't know how Social Security, I think the max you can get is $4 or $5 grand. Here in San Diego, there's no way that's going to work. Maybe in another part of the country, that's enough to survive, but not here. So here's this chart. Let's take a look at it. Younger Americans, urban residents, those with lower incomes, more likely to express concern about ability of affordable housing. So percentages saying that the availability of affordable housing is blank in their local community. 44% of men say it's a major problem. 40% of men say it's a minor problem. 52% say it's a major problem, affordability. 34% say it's a minor problem. Okay. Caucasian, 44% major problem. You can see 39% a minor problem. Black, Hispanic, Asian, all the way down, you can see 57, 55, 55, 31, 33, 33. So it's kind of all in line. So as you can see here, the Black, Hispanic, and Asian population is saying that it's 57, 55, 55. It's a much more problem, affordability, than a minor problem. So this is data. So let's look at the ages. Ages 18 to 29, 55%. Ages 65 plus 39. So you can see in between. So obviously the younger we are, the less money we have, the more it seems to get expenses. As you get older, the cost goes down. College graduate, 52%. Same college or less, 47. Urban, wow, 63. Suburban 46, and rural 40. That makes sense because obviously is the way you get away from the cities. It gets more affordable. Northeast, west, southwest, 49, 33, 44, 69. The west. Wow, 69% in the west say it's unaffordable and 25 not. That is insane. Okay, here we go. Lower, middle, and upper income. So lower 57, middle 47, upper 42. I'm really focusing on what's not affordable. So one of the other big things that people are going to struggle with is their inadequate retirement savings. So this graph below here, as you can see, many homeowners do not save enough to maintain their pre-retirement lifestyles. The Fidelity Gold Sentiment Survey from 2023 found that only 30% of respondents felt confident they had enough saved, enough for retirement, with many underestimating the amount needed to sustain their lifestyle, which typically requires 80 to 90% of pre-retirement income. That's the problem. So if you're making 100 grand a year, you need to have about $90,000 still coming in. That's tough to do. That's why you have to have outside of 401k, Social Security. That's why the cash flow. That's why you get in the real estate game. That's why buying investment property is so huge. So if you're watching this, if you're younger, this is why you got to focus on this earlier. Increased financial anxiety. As retirement approaches, many homeowners experience heightened anxiety about their financial futures. According to the National Retirement Risk Index, NRRI, 28% of households are not worried enough about their retirement readiness, as they believe they are secure position, contrary to these surveys. Those who realize too late that their planning was insufficient may find themselves relying on part-time or government work, or being stressed out or overwhelmed, or they're going to have to call family, live with family, push back on their kids. That's what happens. Kids got to help come in and take care of parents. Delayed retirement. Overconfidence can lead to homeowners in delaying retirement, often resulting in a burnout or health issues. The survey shows that many individuals may plan to work longer than intended due to financial concerns, which can negatively impact their life. So you just listen to this video. You don't know what to do. We went through some stats. So here's some comprehensive steps that you can do, some proactive steps to try to get your household in order, to try to get on track, to understand your retirement. Are you safe? Are you secure? And obviously how to focus on your home, maybe how to use that more. Obviously there's things like you can refinance to lower the payment. You can always pay the mortgage off. You can sell another property, pay your primary off. You can do a reverse mortgage, home equity line. There's many things you can do to your house. So it's not a burden. It's actually an asset for you in the future. Comprehensive financial planning. Engaging with a certified financial planner can help homeowners develop a tailored retirement strategy. Experts suggest that working with financial advisors can significantly enhance confidence in retirement plans. I agree with this. Financial advisors are not real estate people, but they can make you show if you want to be here. They can set goals. They can take money out of your account. You can pay them every month and act like it's a bill to put money away to save for retirement. But financial planners can be great as long as they give you great advice and they're trustworthy and they're honest. Understanding home equity. Homeowners should regularly assess their home's equity by considering both the value of their property and the outstanding mortgage. This understanding can provide a clear picture of their financial situation and help them make informed decisions. Folks, you can go on, type in your address in Google. Redfin will come up, Zillow will come up, other ones will come up. You can get a range of what your house value is around. I would say that's somewhat accurate if you really want to be more clear about what it is. If you work with a realtor, call them. If you work with a loan officer, they can pull some comps and check it out too, but the realtor is always your best bet because that is what they do. Diversification in assets. Relying solely on home equity can be risky. Homeowners should consider diversifying their investments across various asset classes to mitigate risk associated with market fluctuations. A balanced portfolio can provide a more stable financial foundation for retirement. Exactly. If you don't know how to do this, that's why you call a financial planner. But also the other thing that I would say in this is that a lot of people they're going to rely on their home equity. They're going to rely on Social Security. They're going to rely on their pension. You never know if something blows up, doesn't come through, doesn't work out. So just be cautious that what you do, especially when you're younger, if you're listening to this, really matters as you get older. Education and resources. Homeowners should take advantage of educational programs offered by financial institutions. Increased financial literacy can empower homeowners to make informed decisions about their retirement and savings. Number one, this is so easy. There's podcasts, there's YouTube, there's the internet, there's even stuff on TikTok. There's this video I'm doing right now that's going to be on YouTube. There's zero excuse for people learning more. There's all the gurus, there's books, there's courses. Come on, guys. It's all there. Turn off Netflix. I always say this. If you spend an hour a week on your financials or planning or what you're doing, like just look at your stuff, that literally would change your life. 4 hours a month, there's 12 months times 4. Do the math. That's probably enough. If you want to dive in more, great, but at least spend 1 hour a week on your finances. Look at your stuff, pay attention, make sure you know what you're doing, where's your money. Maybe have a call with your financial advisor twice a year, every quarter. It doesn't hurt. Be involved, pay attention, be alert, and just don't assume it's all going to be taken care of. I'm going to give you one thing that's easy to do. We call it, if you're renting and you want to buy a house, we say play house. That means act like you're renting for $2,500 and your mortgage is going to go to $4,000. You got this and that. Then act like, go cool. I'm going to pay $2,500 rent. I'm going to pay this money over here to this account plus the bills and that. Play it. Play the money. Play it out. Your retirement, act like you're retired. What does that look like? What are the costs? Write it down. What does your life look like? Map it out. Write it down. Look at it. Sit with your financial advisor. Say, let's act like I'm retired. What does that look like? What are the costs? What are you thinking about? Okay, I've got my normal costs, but I want to go on trips, but about medical, but something happens to the house, the car, this, that. I want to do something with the grandkids. Map it all out. Play retirement like you're playing house. Like sometimes, we're in school, we used to just trade fake stocks, like real stocks with fake money, and you do that. So play house, play retirement, go through it all. But look, you want to be set up for retirement, start early, start putting money away. Compound interest is the seventh wonder of the world. Go put it in a calculator, what that means, you can check it out. But my biggest advice too, outside of that, is try to pay off your home over 30 years and also try to buy some investment properties. If you could buy a 4 unit and pay that thing off by the time you buy it at 30 and you pay it off at 60 and that's free and clear and that thing kicks off $8,000 a month of gross rent, and you could take home, let's say, half of that $4,000 plus a pension or retirement or this. Just that simple thing can change your game. There's so many people I've met in my business for 20 years that say, Kenny, I bought a 4 unit, a house, an 8 unit, this or that. And they're like, I just paid it off. That's all I did. But that 4 unit here in San Diego and with my pension gives me ability to have a life, to travel, to do things I want to do. And that's the biggest thing, folks, is you need to plan for this stuff. take a sacrifice when you're younger. If you're older and need to look at this, then dive into it. Get with your financial advisor. Maybe you have enough time to make some changes now. Get realistic. Maybe you're going to have to make some sacrifices, some cuts. But hey, at the end of the day, plan right. Make sure you're talking to the right people. Get around the right team. And you know what? This should work out for you. Thanks for watching. If I can help, hit me up. Talk to you guys soon.